Hello and welcome to the first game theory tutorial. Just going to be going through and giving a quick overview of our updated website, all the different features, and to make sure that there's a full understanding of everything for an easy resource. All right, so head on to the website gametheory.tech and it will bring you to the landing page. Here you've got a little description about game theory and links to the documentations and the frequently asked questions. On the home page, the information you got here, so you got the total value locked. So you see all the money currently in the protocols. We just launched a few days ago and just building from the ground up. You've got the price of DAI, our stablecoin that we're pegged to. You've got the price of the game token here and all the statistics. Got the price of theory and all the statistics and our bond HODL. And then you can see the information about the two different liquidity pools. Head over to the farm. You have the Genesis pools here, so all the money should be taken out there. If anyone's still got money in the Genesis pools, remember to unstake your money and take it out of there. You've got our two different farms, so you got the the game DAI liquidity pool, and you've got the theory DAI liquidity pool here, which you can go into. So I put a little bit of money in there just as an example. So if you go into the stake, you can see all the different information we've got here. So this box here, I just start up here. So first off, we've got the withdrawal fees. So the withdrawal fees change the longer you are in the farm. So the fees are as follows. So within one block, which would be anything from like 7 seconds to 30 seconds, there'd be a 25% withdrawal fee. That is to dissuade people who are trying to trade and front run people's transactions. If you withdraw after less than 1 hour, it's an 8% withdrawal fee. Less than 1 day, it's a 4% withdrawal fee. Less than 3 days, it's 2%. Less than 5 days is 1%. 2 weeks is 0.5%. 4 weeks is 0.25%. And if it's equal to or more than 4 weeks, it's 0.01%. Now that withdrawal fees only applies to liquidity pool tokens. It has nothing to do with earned theory. So whatever you put into the liquidity pool, these withdrawal fees would only be taken out of the amount of liquidity pool tokens that were put into the farm. So it's only about LP tokens, has nothing to do with theory. Anytime you either deposit or you withdraw your liquidity pool tokens, it also claims your rewards as well. Now, go through the different boxes. So you have the total annual percentage rates. That's the total reward, the total emissions that you would get distributed over the course of the year. And what we've done is we've broken it up into our two different tokens, which we're going to talk about. So we've got the theory APR, which is unlocked theory, and then we have the locked theory APR. So we split them up for you. Then we have the total daily APR, which right now is 209% per day. 10.46% of that is theory, and then 198% of that is locked theory. You've got the total value locked of the pool. You have the current withdrawal fee, so mine is at 2%. So if we go and look on here, why is it at 2%? Well, we said if you've been in for less than 3 days, it's been 2%. So it's been less than 3 days since we launched. So the current withdrawal fee is at 2%. Once it goes past 3 days, it then go down to 1% and so on and so on. And the L theory percentage, so the percentage of all of the theory that is unlocked versus locked, this is the number we'll show you. So on week 1, that's 95%. On week 2, it'll be 93%. On week 3, it'll be 91%, and so on and so on. Every week, a larger percentage of the theory that is distributed is going to be theory compared to being locked theory. And if you go into the liquidity pool, so I put in 186 LP tokens for this. Out of that, the current rewards have been generated. In total, 141 theory has been distributed, which is worth $644. Of that, 7.06 is in theory tokens, which if I claim now, I'd be able to take out and do whatever I wanted with. And 134 of those are locked theory, which are bonuses, which are to incentivize our long-term investors. With locked theory versus theory tokens, you can do whatever you want with. You can compound them back into the, you can turn them into game DAI liquidity pool tokens. You can put them into the theory DAI liquidity pool token. You can put them into theoretics and earn game from that, or you can sell them, completely your option. The L theory tokens, they are for our long-term investors as bonuses for sticking with us and getting to the point where we release the game. So L theory will begin unlocking 1 year from the start of the farm, which would be the 24th of March, 2023. That's when they will begin to unlock. Then from the 24th of March, 2023, over the next 12 months, they will unlock linearly. So every day, a percentage of those tokens would unlock, and that will increase over the course of the year. That's the first way in which L Theory would turn into Theory tokens. The second way that L Theory tokens would be turned into Theory tokens is through purchasing and utilizing an NFT, which will actually be being released in the next couple of days. And we're going to do a tutorial video on the NFTs when they get released. The third way to turn L Theory tokens into Theory tokens is by playing our game Brutal Network, and there will be quests and challenges that can be completed in that game, which can also unlock Theory as well. Moving on to Theoretics. So in Theoretics, when you earn your Theory rewards and you claim them and you want to take them over into the Theoretics, then you'll see here, so it has the same withdrawal fees as the farm, same thing, but now with the game token, we still have the locked game versus game, but now instead of it being about a specific time period, the ratio of game to locked game is all about the time-weighted price average of the game token. So if the time-weighted price average of game is over $1, so $1.01, 95% of the game that is earned is going to be locked game, and 5% is going to be unlocked game. As the TWAP gets higher and higher and higher, that percentage of locked game to game increases in terms of the game percentage. So a higher percentage of it is game tokens versus locked game tokens as the time-weighted price average increases, to the point where when the time-weighted price average is $4 or above, there is 100% of the tokens are unlocked game tokens and 0% are locked game tokens. So above $4, 100% are unlocked. At $1, 95% are locked. So you can see the statistics here. So you see the time until the next epoch. So Theoretics is launching in just over 19 hours. So we haven't had a first epoch yet. You'll see here what the price of game is, so the time-weighted price average. You'll see what the price is going to be for the next time-weighted price average. You'll see the total APR. You see how much of that is in game tokens versus how much of that is locked game tokens. And then the same thing with the daily percentage rate. See how much of that is game tokens versus how much of that is locked game tokens. You'll see the current withdrawal fee based on how long you've been staked in Theoretics, and you'll see how much of your earnings are locked game versus game. And then the total amount of Theory that's staked into the boardroom. So you can see already in Theoretics, there's 8.9 Theory that has been staking as people are getting ready for it. And with your rewards, it's broken down the same way. So you see the total amount of game that you've earned. You'll see how much of that game is game, which is unlocked, and how much of that is locked game. And then you see your total Theory staked here. Now, if you go into bonds, that hasn't come live yet, but under peg, you'd be able to purchase HODL. And then when above peg, you'd be able to redeem that HODL for game tokens. You have the Treasury Wallet. So if you click here, it will take you to our Treasury, and you'll be able to see what is held within the Treasury, and you'll be able to see the transactions that the Treasury makes over time, including the investments that we're going to be making. The first investment we're going to be making is going to be in DeFi Kingdoms. And then if you click on here, you can also see the developer wallet and see the same thing. You have a link here which will take you to our documents, which you can have a review of. It's explaining everything I'm explaining here in more detail. And you have a section here for frequently asked questions. On the far right, you see the My Wallet tab. If you click on that, that's going to give you information about your tokens. So right now, of what I've claimed, I have no game or L game because the Theoretics isn't open yet. I've got 4.33 in Theory, which has already been claimed, and I have 82.37 in locked Theory. And I don't have any HODL available. So go into My Wallet and I'll show you all the information. Important thing to understand about how claiming affects you with Theory and with game. So with Theory, if we go back into the farm, and if we look at the L Theory percentage. So on week 1, 95% of all of the Theory tokens that are distributed are L Theory, and 5% of them are Theory tokens. Every week over the course of the year, that number of the percentage of L Theory is going to go down by 2%. So in week 2, this number will be 93%. In week 3, this number will be 91%. In week 4, it will be 89%, and so on and so on. Now, when you have your tokens here in the farm in either of the 2 liquidity pools, this number only gets locked in once you hit claim. So right now, the percentage of tokens I have of the total earned at a theory versus L theory would get locked into this number here when I hit claim. If I don't claim it, this percentage doesn't apply, where the multiple layers of strategy come into it. So I have a couple different options now. I can claim my tokens now, and then I would have this amount of theory and this amount of locked theory. I could then take that theory and I can either recompound it into and turn it, sell half of it for game, half of it for DAI, and then compound into the game DAI liquidity pool. I could take it and sell half of it into DAI, pair it with the other theory and go into the theory DAI liquidity pool. I could just take all the theory and I could take it into Theoretics and I could stake it there, or I could sell a percentage of it to take profits. All of those are my options. If I waited until next week when this percentage goes down to 93%, I would still have all the tokens that I would have earned, but now the ratio of theory to locked theory, more of it would be in theory. A 2% extra would be in theory because we'd then be at 93%. So you have multiple layers of strategy. Understanding when you claim your tokens will determine what percentage of those tokens are locked theory compared to unlocked theory. And then what you want to then go and do with those tokens, whether you want to compound back into one of the 2 liquidity pools or whether you want to stake into Theoretics, all the strategies are up to the investor. All right, so that concludes our tutorial there, guys. We're going to be doing these very regularly as well, and we're going to be doing AMAs on top of that. Hopefully this helps clear up some things. If you have any questions, please just jump onto our Discord and ask us there, and we will answer those questions for you.